Welcome to another episode of Modern Retro Review, and today I'm going to be looking at a BBC Micro homebrew game called Python. This was released in 2022 by a programmer called, well, I don't know, his name's at the bottom of this instructions screen here, Oxcode, 0xcode, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, as you can see from the instructions here, it says it's based on a VIC-20 game called Nibbler, or Vic Nibbler to be precise. That was released in 2019, and that is based on an arcade game, or inspired by an arcade game called Nibbler from 1982. Now what's interesting about this program is it was written in the programmer's own programming language called E-. That's his own language that he's come up with that he uses to code games, and then he ports them over or compiles them to run on the BBC Micro and Acorn Electron. So the instructions for the game are there, but I'll tell you when the game loads. You could have read them by now anyway while I'm talking. So let's get the game loaded up and give it a go. One thing I should mention is you might hear a bit of background hum on this video. That's coming from the BBC Micro audio capture. I can't get rid of that at the moment. I can't work out how to suppress that, so apologies if you can hear that. It's more noticeable if you're listening to this video on headphones rather than just playing it on your phone or a TV or something like that. So anyway, as you can see, this game has got a nice title screen with a high score on it, and the controls are listed there. It's the classic controls for a BBC Micro game, Z and X for left and right, and the colon and slash for the up and down, and there's also the option to switch the music on or off. So let's press space to play. So if you're not familiar with Nibbler, it's basically Snake in a Pac-Man maze, to give it a basic sort of description. So the idea of the game is you go around the maze collecting the diamonds. I don't know why I didn't go up and collect that one then. As you collect the diamonds, the length of your snake extends, and if you crash into yourself, which luckily I didn't, then you die, and if you hit a dead end you die as well. That's something that's unique to this game, or at least these home computer versions. I don't believe there were dead ends in the arcade version. But yeah, basically once you've collected all the diamonds, you go to the next level, as you just saw me do, and it's the same again in a more complicated maze. So yeah, basically that's it in terms of how to play the game, and I've just managed to complete level 2. There's a time limit, and if the time runs out you lose a life, and if you complete the game before the time runs out or the level, then you proceed to the next level and you get a bonus based on how much time you've got left. So that's pretty much it in terms of how you play the game, so I'm just going to play it through. Graphics, oh no, I've messed that up because I've still got a diamond over there and I can't get to it now, so I'm going to run into myself and die. Let's try that again. Yeah, so graphics are pretty good recreation of the arcade game, or possibly the VIC-20 game that this was inspired by. Your Nibbler snake moves around the maze quite quickly and smoothly. The controls are good in as much as when you push the when you push the keys to move in the direction you want to, you can do that just before you get to a junction, and you'll go around that quite smoothly. That recreates the arcade game pretty well as well. When you go to the end of a corner, you don't go round it. I think that differs from the arcade, and also when you go into a T-junction like that, you've got time to make a decision about which way you want to go. Oh, I think I'm going to die here. Oh no, I've just done it in time. Just got past the end of my own tail, basically. So this is where the difficulty starts to ramp up, because there are several dead ends here and lots of sort of corners in the maze. So you can't go down that bottom left corner or the top left corner until you've... In fact, how do you do that? Oh yeah, I see. You've got to go around this. Yeah, I've messed that up. You've got to go around that bottom left corner first before the snake gets too long. So let's give that another go. Oh no, I missed the turning and crashed, and yeah, I'm not really a fan of the dead ends. Oh, I've missed that as well, so I'm not going to be able to do this either because I'm going to be too long. No, I've missed it again. So yeah, that didn't go well, and this is just a matter of time before... Yeah, so what you should do is go around that bend when you've not got a very long snake, but I've messed it up twice now. But I've done it that time, there we go. So now I can navigate through the rest of the maze fairly smoothly, hopefully, and I've got to get those two in the top left corner last, otherwise I would crash into the dead end. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the dead ends, as I was saying. I just don't think you need them. You should be able to design a maze that you can get around smoothly without running into a dead end, in my opinion, but there you go. Other than that, it's a pretty cool recreation of the arcade game. And the sound I haven't mentioned yet, but the sound, it's got music which is optional, which is the music from Pengo, or Popcorn as it's more commonly known, which was a terrible tune that came out in the 60s originally, I think. You can switch that off if you want to. There's also sound effects, which you can hear, which are basically just bleeps as you pick up the diamonds, and bleeps when the timer runs down to add to the bonus at the end of the game. So that last level wasn't too difficult in comparison to the one before. Oh no, that's bad, and that's going to be game over, I think. Yep, that was game over, and I got 6,080 points. I will now go back and try and do some of those later levels again. You don't need to see me play the earlier ones, but I'll rejoin. You'll rejoin me, I should say, when I get to those later levels. So you join me back on level 7. I've got a few lives left, so I might be able to get through this one, and we'll see how I get on, basically. But yeah, I quite like the game. I've been a fan of the arcade game. I never played it when I was a kid. Oh, I've messed that up. When I was a kid, but I've played it as an adult and quite enjoyed it. It's quite addictive and sort of hypnotic with the way the snake moves around the maze, I find. It's sort of a very satisfying sort of movement, and that movement is recreated in this version, so I'm quite pleased about that. There's nothing special about it. It's a pretty straightforward sort of arcade game. Yeah, I'm going to have to go all the way around the maze again here to get that one. There we go, now I can get the last two. Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward arcade game. It's sort of a skill game, but also a little bit of a puzzler as well, because you've got to work out the best route around the maze so that you don't run into yourself, but also you don't run into any dead ends. So yeah, pretty cool game. Not much more to say about it. This is going to be quite a short review by my standards, and that's not going to work. I think here you've got to try and make your way sort of top to bottom, I suspect, so that you don't overgrow yourself. Yeah, so you need to kind of work out. I'll probably not make it through. No, I've messed it up again there. It's very easy on this one to miss a turn in as well, and there you go, that's game over. So that'll do for this one. As I say, very quick review. Nice little game, available to download from the author's website. He's got I think a GitHub page for it, and also it's available on the BBC Micro Games archive. So I'll put links to all those different places you can get from, including a forum post about it as well, where there's quite a bit of information in the pinned comment as always. Hope you enjoyed this short video, and I'll be back with another one in the near future. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time, bye for now.